Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
The energy revealed. Brooklyn to Queens, reppin' both hoods. Rob and CP, keep it fire, misunderstood. Cheer 'em all loud, let the anthem flow. Mets fans unite at the pregame show. From city stand lights to the skyline greens, it's the heartbeat of Queens, the craziest dreams. Rob hype on the mic, CP's the fire spark. Together they ignite, voices like the park. Fans drift in jerseys, legacy bold. The Metropolitan story forever told. Turnstile spinning, the crowd floods the gates. This is family, no time for debates. Crack of the Batman, the roar never fades. Queens in the blood, it's how champions are made. Cheer 'em all loud, let the anthem flow. Let fans unite at the pregame show. From city stand lights to the skyline gleams, it's the heartbeat of Queens, the craziest dreams. 7-line swagger, vibes electric and wild. Mets legacy golden since I was a child. Orange crushed skies, let the battle ignite. Ride for the home team till the last fight.
What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the Amazing Mets pregame show right here on the channel, X, and on Twitch. How is everybody doing on this Sunday, June 8th, as the Mets look to sweep the Colorado Rockies in Colorado and get to 18 games over 500 on the season? Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're a new watcher of the channel. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Well, that was an important, well-needed game just for the psyche of Met fans because of the fact of the lack of runners in scoring position, the close games against bad teams, and we kind of had a laugher yesterday, and that was nice to see from our New York Mets as Clay Holmes pitched well, and a lot of the guys spread out the love offensively throughout the order, and that is exactly what we wanted, exactly what we asked for, and exactly what we got last night on Saturday night in Colorado. It just was everybody. It was Terrence, it was McNeil, it was Young, it was Nimmo, it was a little bit of everybody yesterday, and that's exactly what we needed and what we continued to hope for with this lineup. Again, the big boys didn't do a lot, right? Nimmo did a couple of good things, did some things here, which was nice to see him stepping up. But you got obviously 3 hits from Lindor. You got 2 hits from Nimmo. You got no hits from Soto, 1 hit from Alonso. So it wasn't a lot of the big guys coming through overall. It was basically the middle and the bottom of the order doing their job. And, sometimes you need a game like that, and the Mets did have a laugher yesterday. And you got to go out today with Tyler McGill on the mound, and we'll see what we get from Tyler McGill. Again, it's a crapshoot with Tyler McGill. I never know what we're going to get from him. You might get a good start. You might get a bad start. You might get an in-between start. And he's just an enigma, and that's exactly what we're going to hope for today is the better part of the Tyler McGill that we would see when he's pitching well. Who knows how he's going to pitch in Colorado with the thin air. We'll see how that goes. But Kodai Senga pitched well. Clay Holmes pitched well. And Tyler McGill needs to finish the job today to get this sweep and then have the off day. And then you head home for the Nationals and the Rays. And yes, Danger, you're 100% right. Ronnie Mauricio with a bomb. 3rd deck in Colorado. That was an absolute laser beam that he hit. You saw it, and that was a breaking ball. It was a hanger. And he had trouble in his first couple of about 10, 11 at-bats where they were throwing him all but breaking balls. But you notice Lindor spoke to him. Whatever he was talking about seemed like it calmed down Ronnie Mauricio during that process. And he went up to the plate and realized, hey, I am a good ball player. I am dynamic. I am that good. And you seen the confidence just spill out with Ronnie Mauricio. He hit that bomb and then, hit another base hit in the game as well. He started to get going as well, and he's back in the lineup today as you see Noah Cunha in the lineup, but you see Beatty, you see Mauricio jumping up to the 6th spot in the order right behind Jeff McNeil. This is exactly what we were expecting from Ronnie Mauricio. And it was just a confidence level. I think he had to get situated. He had to understand what this team, what teams are trying to do against him, and don't try to do too much, right? That was a one-handed swing that he hit 425 feet in the third deck in right field. Dinner or not, that ball was crushed. And that was off of a breaking ball where he hit that ball swinging with one hand. He let go with one hand. Like that is how much power he has as a hitter. And we know what he can do defensively. He is a really good defensive player. He has a great arm. He has a great glove. Not worried on that end. If we can see the power that we seen yesterday from Ronnie Mauricio, this changes the Mets lineup overall. And that does not mean that I don't want to see Alvarez getting going or Beatty get going again, or even when Vientos comes back, he starts hitting. Mauricio is a game changer. He's been projected to be a game changer. He has been before the Beattys of the world, before the Acuñas, before the Vientos, before the Williams, the Acuñas, all those guys. It was Ronnie Mauricio. This was the guy that was supposed to be projected to be a top player. He was supposed to be one of those guys that can't miss prospects. This is the guy that everybody was expecting to be good, showed signs in the minors, shown signs in the Dominican Winter League, and he needs to show it here. And yesterday was a great time to show it, and he did. While the Mets were struggling to score runs, Ronnie Mauricio got everything started, and that's what we saw, and that's what we did. And we got the win in Game 2 of the series. I will be doing a watch party during the game today, so make sure you tune into that. If you're in the pregame, just stick around. It's going to take you right to the watch party stream, and you can hit that like button early, and I'll get on right before the game, about 5 to 10 minutes before the ball game. And again, I'll have the score up, I'll have the outs, all that fun stuff, and obviously instant reactions from me in the corner, and you guys can interact during the game. So yes, the game is at 3:00 today. I'm trying to lounge. What are you talking about? I'm sorry. Where did we get who from? If you're talking about Mauricio, we drafted him, or we signed him into an international free agent. Yeah, he's been around forever. Like, I mean, that's all we when there was no hope, Ronnie Mauricio was the hope for Met fans, right? It wasn't the Wilpons giving us hope. That's for damn sure. And we have to lean on those prospects, especially when the Mets weren't very good for many, many years of the Wilpons, where they basically lucked into a lot of runs in their history owning the Mets, in my opinion. 2015 was a lot of luck. It wasn't a very talented team. They had a great pitching staff, but if you look at the lineup, it was the Tejadas of the world, the Dudas of the world. It wasn't very good. It really wasn't at all. So, it was the Lagarises of the world. Daniel Murphy, before he got into the playoffs, was an average player. You had a broken down David Wright. There wasn't a lot there in the lineup. So overall, Mauricio has been here a long time. And it's about time that, and I said this for a while, David Stearns loves Ronnie Mauricio. Anytime that he can speak about Ronnie Mauricio, his eyes sparkle. And he's a guy that David Stearns, that's the type of player he likes. Power, speed, plays multiple positions. He can do everything well. He's a 5-tool player. We like to hear that a lot, especially with top prospects. He's a 5-tool player. Everything that he can do in the game of baseball, he's supposed to do well, right? Acuña, there's flaws. We see that. Beatty, there's flaws. Even Vientos, there's flaws. Mauricio is not supposed to have that flaw. Like, when he figures everything out, he's supposed to be a top player. That's what he's supposed to be. So, is he going to be that? We all can hope so. Right? The Mets really haven't, besides Nimmo and Alonso, guys like that, position player-wise, they really haven't developed a star. Pete Alonso is a star. I'm not going to call him, top 5 player, top 10 player, or probably top 10 most likely. Right now he's playing like a top 10 player, but career-wise, I wouldn't consider him a top 10 player. Now, Met fans are going to probably yell at me about that, but he's not. He's not. Top players are MVP caliber players that consistently do that year after year. the Manny Machados, the Bryce Harpers, the Aaron Judges, those type of guys. Now, again, that doesn't mean Pete Alonso's not a really good damn player. He is. But, again, we're hoping Ryan Mauricio can even get to the caliber of Pete Alonso, maybe even better, because there's more there from Ryan Mauricio. Just the bat speed in general is just amazing to see. But it is nice to see that Ryan Mauricio got a couple of hits, got that home run. So he's back in the lineup. He moved up in the lineup to 6 today. And we got to go get the sweep, right? We got Tyler McGill on the mound. We don't know what we're really going to get from Tyler McGill at all. All I know is that we got Chase Dollinger, not Dollinger, sorry about that, with a 6.26 ERA. Beat up on him again, right? I want another laugher. We got an off day tomorrow. Let's enjoy the road trip. The road trip would be really good if you sweep this series, right? You'll win 5 out of 7 on the road trip. You took care of the Rockies. You did what you needed to do against the Dodgers, even though it was disappointing because you could have won the series or even swept and could have had a sweep of a road trip. But 5-2, if you're going to tell me we're playing 4 against the Dodgers and 3 against the Rockies, if you tell me we came out of that 5-2, I'm very happy about that. Regardless of how it happened, 5-2 is very good, especially the Mets have been hovering under 500 a little bit on the road. Going out of that, 3 games over 500 on the in this series, I'll take that to the bank because the Mets don't lose at home. They are dominant at home. So anytime you can get a above 500 road trip, you put that in the win column and you go home and you dominate once again. And that's what the Mets need to do today. There is no reason and no excuse for the Mets to lose today. I know Tyler McGill isn't, anything special. He can have a bad game. He can have a good game. But he needs to have a solid game. He needs to keep this team in the ball game. That's what you got to do. The Mets bats will score runs. If the game is close, they will score the runs. But you can't let this game get away. And you see what happens in Colorado where, a bloop and a blast can happen really quickly. The wind's blowing out one way with the thin air, you're in trouble. And if you let the ball go in the air, it's going to be issues. So Tyler McGill has got to pitch well. Keep the team in the ball game, and eventually they're going to score those runs. They're going to beat the bad team. And again, the Mets didn't make mistakes yesterday. Now, I know that Beatty mistake when it was when there was a guy on first and he kind of went the wrong way. That was, Clay Holmes got out of it, so that was good. But other than that, they didn't make mistakes. They played quality baseball with no or very few limited mistakes. And you win a ball game against a bad team. If you have no mistakes to very little mistakes in a game against a bad team, you're going to win. Like, it's not that hard to understand the fact that the Mets limit their mistakes or have none at all in a game, especially against a bad team. You should run away with the game. Against a really good team, you got to limit the mistakes more and hope for no mistakes, and you have a really good shot of winning the ball game. The Mets have done very well with that this year. And they got to do that today as they're on the verge of having a high mark of the year to 18 games over 500. That'll be the high marker of the year. We're on the verge of 20 games over 500. We got to get there. Let's get there. And we can really talk about, what we're doing in the division right now with the New York Mets as the Phillies did lose again. The Mets are 3.5 games up on the Phillies, 10.5 on the Nationals, and 13 games ahead of the Atlanta Braves. We played the Washington Nationals, which are only 10 games out. They're 10.5 games out. They've played well. They're 4 games under 500. But you need to win that series. You win that series, no harm, no foul. You take care of business. You play the Rays. They haven't been very good this year. You win that series. The Mets are at home. They should dominate these 2 series. They should win these series. 4-2 is at a minimum in that homestand against the Nationals and the Rays. And then you face the Braves for 7 and the Phillies for 3. The Braves away and the Braves at home, and then the Phillies on the road. This is where you got to stack those wins. You're doing it now with the Rockies. You can sweep the Rockies this season through the series that you've played them. That's what you're supposed to do. And the Mets do that, I'll be okay. Because going home, it's just the feeling at home. The team feels it. You can feel it through the TV. Citi Field rocks, and if the team vibes off of that, and they run off of that. You can see it. They love playing at Citi Field. In years past, it wasn't the case. The Mets used to be terrible at home. Since June of last year, it's like all of a sudden they love to play at home all of a sudden, and that's what they've been showing for basically a whole year now, since last June. And they've continued it this year with being home. Grant, how you doing, buddy? Long time no see. So I'm excited that the Mets did what they had to do over these first 6 games of the road trip. They are 4-2. They can end it 5-2, and I'll take that to the bank, especially with the off day tomorrow. You rest your bullpen, you rest up everybody. Lindor gets a rest, and then you go into the Washington National Series at home and take care of business there. So when it comes to the lineup today, obviously Lindor is in the lineup. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 is Lindor, Nimmo, Soto, Alonso. I'm very excited about this top 4. I don't want this to change at all. I don't want Vientos in the 2-hole. I don't want anybody in the 2-hole except Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo has been a different player or a different hitter in the 2-hole since Mendoza put him there. Once again, Mendoza makes the call. Mendoza makes the call to put him in the 2 spot, and it's worked wonders. This is shades of 2022, where either Nimmo was leading off or batting second, mostly batting second, but that is where Brandon Nimmo is at his best. He's not trying to do too much. He will hit his home runs, but he's just a better hitter in the 2 spot. And I think mentally, it just works for him. It doesn't put the pressure on him of driving in runs, even though he can do that and hit the ball over the wall and still become a better hitter. You want to get on for Soto and Alonso. I know it hasn't been pretty with Juan Soto driving in runs, but Juan Soto is going to do that. You get on base, Juan Soto is eventually going to do it. We know Pete Alonso has been doing it. Get on base for Soto and Alonso. That is what they got to do. And Lindor did that yesterday. Nimmo did that yesterday. And you got to keep it up. And I love this 1 through 4. I don't want it to change at all. The Mets are going to go with this 1 through 4. I feel like it's going to be a case. I know when there's a lefty on the mound, you're going to see Marte in the DH spot, or at least in the 2 spot with a lefty on the mound. I'm okay with that. You see what Marte gets a little bit more playing time. He's still good with the bat. He's still got that bat speed. He'll give you good at bats. I know the base running is actually terrible, but he'll give you good at bats. He hasn't been a big downgrade in the 2-hole. And Marte just needs to play a little bit more. You need to see pitching. And, I know some people were talking about on Twitter that Acuna is not playing again. Oh, well. You know what? You got to be better. If you're playing well, if you're doing your job, you'll be in there more. You're not doing your job. Acuna, he hasn't really played since he had those good at-bats against the Dodgers. So, and really hasn't played much. So it's unfortunate. But it is what it is, and the logjam happens. And the better players and the guys who are playing better are going to get more starts. And Beatty's doing that. Mauricio's doing that. And Acuna is left out. Now, Acuna will be in this game as a pinch runner, defensive replacement, maybe a pinch hit late in the game. But other than that, he's on the bench. And I can't worry about that. I don't care about that. I don't like the fact that he's sitting on the bench, but too bad. You know what? McNeil did fine. He hit a home run yesterday, and that's it. Even McNeil provides a little bit more power. Acuna doesn't. And I know that a lot of people still want to see Acuna in the lineup, but he shows no power. We know he has a little bit of power, but when you show no power, there's a limit to your game that the Mets necessarily don't like. Just look at what they do in this lineup. They went to Beatty as much as possible. They clearly like Beatty a lot because he has the potential of driving a ball over the wall. That's why they like Mauricio. That's why Alvarez is still getting a lot of chances, because the potential of that power is what they love. The same thing goes for Jeff McNeil. Jeff McNeil is not a power hitter. We all know that. But he can jack one over the wall. We have not seen that power, even a little bit, from Luis Angel Acuna. And if he doesn't have that, we need him to get out on base at an excessive rate, and he hasn't done that either. And that's the unfortunate part for Luisano Acuna. And again, the Mets are winning. They're putting guys in a lineup that are better right now, and I'm okay with that. I don't care about feelings. I don't care about lack of playing time. I don't like the fact that they're doing that to Acuna, but I mean, that's why I said you should send him down. Right now, he's needed, and he's helping his team in limited roles and areas of the parts of the game where you might need a pinch runner, you might need a defensive replacement or a pinch hit appearance. That's what he is right now. He is a bench player. He is a role player that comes in, in the middle to late games and help this team win. He's been important in certain parts of this team in areas of games, which is fine. You don't win with just 20 guys on your roster. You win with all 26 guys. And the Mets have shown that they've used a lot of guys to win ball games. And I'm happy with that. But I don't care about feelings. I don't care right now. Beatty has took over a job where Acuna looked like he was going to run away with it. Beatty got sent down. This was Acuna's job not to lose. Beatty came back because of an injury to Winker, and Acuna fell apart. He wasn't as good at the plate. His defense was still okay, was still fine, but the plate discipline and the at bats weren't good, and he lost the job once again. 2 opportunities Acuna had to be a mainstay in this lineup, just like Beatty has been, and he's lost it twice. And that's unfortunate, but it is what it is. And I do understand that a lot of people get upset about that, but that's okay. It happens. We can't do anything about that except we see the lineup, go win a ball game. We're playing the Rockies. We shouldn't lose. It's just that simple. So anybody in this lineup, if you like the lineup or not, doesn't matter. You got to win this ball game. Chase Dollander is not a good pitcher. Beat him up. This lineup for the Rockies is not very good. Riddle looks like a promising young shortstop, but they got nothing there. Avoid, and the Mets have had this problem. They've been putting guys on base. They've been giving them opportunities that one guy jacks the ball over the wall and it's a 3-run homer. You can't have that. I know you can score a lot of runs in Colorado, but limit the damage. Don't beat yourself. Let them earn their way on. If they earn their way on, it is what it is. You tip your cap, and you can't do anything about that if they hit the ball. But when you walk guys and you give them opportunities based on you handing them opportunities, guess what's going to happen? Good chance you're going to give up some runs. And with Tyler McGill, we know we can be erratic with the location. He can walk a lot of guys. That's when he gets into trouble. Hopefully he avoids that today. Who knows how the pitches are going to move around in the thin air. It's been a little bit better since they had the humidor. I think they started that like 10 years ago where they put the balls in this fridge type of thing, and it's been kind of limit the way the ball moves in the thin air. Is that true or not? I guess it is. Who knows? Maybe they deaden the balls a little bit. I don't know. Who the hell knows? All I know is that the Mets need to sweep this series, and I'll be very disappointed if they don't. Going home 4-3 on this road trip, I'd be upset because I don't think we should lose to the Colorado Rockies. I know it's baseball and things happen, but just don't make the mistakes. Limit the mistakes, make no mistakes, and you're going to win a ball game. The Rockies will make a mistake. We've seen that yesterday. We've seen this every game they played against us. They've made mistakes, either errors or bad base running or bad at-bats. They will make a mistake. You're not 12-52 by making very little mistakes a game in every game. They make a ton of mistakes. You got to capitalize on that. They've been giving you runners on. You've been having a lot of people on. You got to score. They did it yesterday. Nice to see. Continue that. We got to get this offense rolling a little bit here. Get that confidence rolling. Get to the off day tomorrow, 5-2 on the road trip. Let Lindor rest. Let your bullpen rest. Let the starters rest. Let everybody rest. And come out on Tuesday at home against the Nationals. That's what I want to see from the New York Mets. And hopefully we can actually do that. And I did get a word that I might not be able to do the freaking in-game live. That's annoying. Unfortunately, got some info that I have to deal with, unfortunately. So I might not be able to do the in-game live. It's going to be a game time decision, unfortunately. The stream's still going to be up there. Maybe I can just leave on the stream and put the game on and all that other stuff. I'll just leave the score up there and leave the volume up and do what I got to do. I probably will do that just to, make it easier for you guys, because I want to do the in-game lives. I want to start doing them a lot more. Big reason why this channel blew up was because of the in-game lives that I constantly did. So game time decision on the stream for the in-game live. I'm probably going to still do it. I'm just probably not going to be in the picture much at all, but that's okay. At least you got the stream going. You guys can interact with each other during the ball game overall. So, yeah. Let's just finish up the stream here as one more time with the lineup. We got Lindor, Nimmo, Soto, Alonso, McNeil, Mauricio batting sixth, Tyron Taylor playing center field, Brett Beatty playing third base batting eighth, and Alvarez is getting another start batting ninth, and the catcher. Again, Tyler McGill, try to avoid walks. That gets you into trouble. Let's see how his location is. If he's all over the place, hopefully it doesn't bite us in the ass and gives up too many runs where the Mets can't come back in a ball game. But hopefully we're talking about a series win. A sweep of the series and ready to go. I'm not going to be doing a post game. Me and Chris are going to be doing a series recap at 8 o'clock tonight. And it's kind of like a de facto post game to break down the game today and obviously the series. D-Mac, who goes yard today? I'm going to say Soto and Beatty. There we go. Soto and Beatty. How about that? Get those guys going a little bit more before the road trip ends. So with that said, guys, thank you for tuning into the amazing Mets pregame show right here on the channel. Mets go for the sweep and to get to 18 games over 500 on the season and hopefully extend their lead in the NL East by end of day. Have a good day, guys. Enjoy the game. Game time decision on the in-game live. I'll let you guys know. Obviously, if the stream is canceled, I will shut down the stream, and I'll see you later tonight on the series recap with myself and Chris. Have a good day, guys. Enjoy the game. Let's go Mets, and let's get that sweep, guys. Have a good day.
Seven train rumble, headed to the field. Orange and blue vibes, the energy revealed. Brooklyn to Queens, repping both hoods. Rob and CP, keep it